There's so much here. Let's just go through. I am so sorry. I didn't think it was going to be this extensive. Holy, yeah, because I was like, bro, hold on, dude. I'm so sorry for taking up your time. I really thought it was just going to be a bit. This is a massive update. So we'll just start from the beginning. Woo. Big patch is good patch? I think so. I think a lot of people gave up on WAVEN for the time being because they were feeling like nothing was happening. And we were all waiting for a patch to happen. And this is, I mean, this is big. This is big. So let's see. New Battle Pass progression. Battle Pass progression has been overhauled to make it more engaging and above all more fun. You will do much more than just progress in the game. You will enjoy all new adventures. Complete specific missions throughout the season to progress your Battle Pass. These missions will earn you stars, the new way to measure your accomplishments. The harder the challenge, the more stars you earned. The more stars you earn. To complete your Battle Pass entirely, you must earn a minimum of 150 out of 200 stars per week. The new Battle Pass system will be turned on for next season starting Tuesday, October 24th. Cool. I'm okay with that. The Battle Pass was really weird. It felt like you could ignore all of the Battle Pass and like the last week of it, just like go on and like play for the day and you like unlocked everything. But I didn't even know what I was doing. Like it would say like, oh, you have a mission to do or something, but I couldn't figure out what the mission was. I just went out and killed stuff and then I would unlock them. So I'm okay with that. Okay, we have a new competitive island. Elite Combat. The competitive island is the new battlefield for competitive players. Players battle other players there in competitive gameplay modes, including player versus player. A brand new mode is about to land in WAVEN. In this mode, only the best of the shipwreck survivors will rise to the top of the rankings and earn more rewards. This mode will shake things up. Head to the middle of competitive island on Tuesday, October 24th to test your strategy. Yo, let's go. Okay, Albura. New chests are available straight from the tropical island of Albura. Albuera, I don't know, to improve your deck building. All sorts of new themed things, equipment, spells, companions will challenge your theory crafting. Collectors should take a trip to Cabrox and Miranda's store starting October 24th to learn more. Changes in how Wakfu fragments are obtained. Wakfu fragments are no longer obtained from fights against monarchs and demi-bosses in dungeons. Upgrade runes have now replaced their rewards. More accessible than ever, Wakfu fragments can be collected every day for free in the shop and from time to time in the Battle Pass. Okay, so that's a bit to unpack. So they changed how Wakfu fragments work. You cannot just farm monarchs and demi-bosses. There was a there was a bug that made Wakfu fragment farming extremely high, and so we knew a patch was going to happen with that. So they basically reworked it, making it so instead of being able to just farm for fragments, you're just going to be getting one of the 3 runes. I'm fine with that. I mean, let's be real. At the Cabrox Island, nobody was exchanging for the level 50 chests. You get much higher level chests. You get much higher level chests just playing the game. So it was wasted to use them on the chest, so you were only using them for the runes. And I'd imagine Onkama realized that, saying, okay, the Cabrox shop is basically we're just putting an extra step in. We're making people exchange fragments to get runes. Can we skip that, make it less confusing, and just give the runes out to players and just make it random? I mean, yes, you would like to just be able to optimize and farm equipment runes. With that said, I think this is going to be a cleaner system for anybody new. Like, hey, I go do a dungeon, I get runes. Cool. Oh, if I just do more dungeons, I get more runes. I need runes to upgrade. It's a much easier process of showcasing it, like how to upgrade things in this game. So I think that's really important. We'll do some testing today with dungeons to see how the drops go, and see, is there an optimized way to farm them? But I'm all right with this. I am all right with it. We do need to go and figure out where you can collect them every day. It says in the shop, so we'll double check where that is in the shop. I mean, let's just do it right now, I guess. I'm kind of curious. I would assume up here. Yeah, okay. Is it? Okay, daily deals. Okay. So they're still giving us fragments that you can exchange for anything. Okay. So, okay, you get some fragments that you can exchange for anything, but in game, when you fight something, you just get some things. Okay, there we go. So we just click on this and get it. Did I get him? Okay, I think I got him. It didn't really do anything, but all right. Okay. I guess I got him. Let's go back. We'll have to double check and see how much we get from the battle pass. Oh, it says in the free battle pass. Hold up. They said in the free battle pass we're getting some too? How do I get to the battle pass? Why isn't the battle pass shown? Oh, we probably have to wait for the next battle pass. Oh, battle pass is down bottom. Oh, gotcha. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's not in this one. It's going to be in the next one. That's right. It's not going to be in this one. Well, that's good. Battle pass is at the bottom. Yeah, it's the next one. I forgot. Okay. Refunds of invested resources. Announced in the first note of the community, the system to refund invested resources is now in place. Yes, they did announce this. If they make any changes to any items, you're going to be getting refunds. Let's see. So here are some changes. So classes and heroes in general, some of these are not supposed to rival the companions in power. However, they quickly become less interesting when the difficulty increases. We're giving them a little boost. So player summonings per health and attack gains is 4% to 5%. I think the player summonings, they're talking about like, I think they would be talking about like, I would assume like the Amurai blade summon, spectrals, summon, the spectral soul summon, and then like Rufus. Is that what I'm thinking? Because the 4 to 5% doesn't make any sense because true companions, they scale off of every percent. So I think it's like those specific classes that get summons, they just made them a bit stronger. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the summonies. So, all right. I'd be curious to see like how does spectral souls attack now work, because I mean another 10% is pretty solid, and on top of that, you know, you can increase his attack even more, and then his attack scales off of yours. Be curious to see, you know, what's the stats of that character or that creature now. All right, let's get into this. Companion builds benefited too much from the power gain generated by all the magics. We want builds specializing and pushing to remain viable while also lowering the impact of collisions for others. Oh no, base collision damage went down 1. I don't think this is the end of the world. This is just the base damage. Yeah, I don't think this matters much because like if you go a full spell build, I don't think I mean, we would have to double check somebody who has a collision build. I don't think this isn't the base modifier. This is just a base stat, and then everything else adds on top of it. So I don't think this is like destroying collision builds. I don't think so. Yeah, we'll have to double check like before and afters. Probably some people in the community have before and after pictures of their collision. We'll have to research that later. I don't think this is a game changer though. Kra, default deck. Crushing Shot has been replaced with Silty Shot. Okay. Ether Spell, Patient Shot. Old effect was that it did 30. Now it's doing 40% when you trigger combo. Piven Bow. Okay. The hero lack power compared to other Kras. We've adjusted all of their passwords upwards to develop their potential more fully. Okay. So Piven just got buffs across the board. Base passive, instead of doing 50% of their attack on the target, it does 60%. Their hero skills, instead of doing 50% with Master on the target, it's going to do 60. So you can do, instead of 100%, you can do 120% of your attack to a target. If you took Reinforcement, when you release a dart aura, 30% of the attack for the turn, you can make that now 50. That's actually pretty solid. I mean, if you had a Piven that's 100 attack and you can release a dart 150%, you're up to 150 attack, and now you're doing 60% of that attack to something. That's pretty good. Piven looking good. Piven targeting. When your hero releases a dart aura, it also triggers their passive on the opponent with the most health. Now it's going to trigger on the opponent with the least health. So they're making Piven similar to Scalpel and like Pikuzala, where you're able to take Piven targeting and you can hit the highest and lowest. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, if I had if I had the ability to play Piven, I would play them just like I mean, you could play this just like how you would play any of those classes. Take Piven Master when your hero releases a dart and inflicts 60% of their attack on that target. And then now you take this one, so it triggers on the opponent with the least health. So now you're hitting the highest and lowest for 60% of your attack. That's pretty solid. Or, dang, dude, take Reinforcement, take Piven Master, and just do a lot of damage to a single monster. But crazy. Cool. Piven looks better. I would like to see what comes out of that. Maybe there is going to be a big switch over to Piven. Buneblade, come on. Let's make Buneblade good. The hero sets themselves apart as a master of affinity rings. Their passive and the interest to be found in using low-cost spells easily let them reach their optimum potential in builds that take advantage of this. However, 2 of their passes were clearly below the others and have been adjusted. God bless, dude. Let's see what happens here. Buneblade discard. The previous effect said 25% to your spell damage. When you play a spell, discard another one at random. Now it's 40% spell damage. That's better. It's still a risky way to play, but 40% spell damage is pretty solid. To sack off another card to get 40% extra damage. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's 40% damage throughout the game, just guaranteed, is pretty solid. Boomblade Power, 20% attack to your hero per card drawn during this turn now turns into 30. That's solid too. When I was playing Boomblade, we were messing with Boomblade Power with attack. Hey, that sounds great to me. 50% stronger. Boonblade Master. Old effect was when you played a spell costing 3 action points or less, 20% attack to your hero and 20% to your spell damage. New effect is when you play something 3 action points or less, 25% attack to your hero and 25% to your spell damage. All right, so I might have to revisit my Boonblade attack build because we were running Boonblade Master and Boonblade Power, and it was okay. I mean, we're basically running the same thing. However, now it's 10% attack stronger every time you use it, and then you're getting 5% more whenever you play a 5-cost card. That's pretty solid, just to get extra attack throughout the fight. That sounds great to me. I still don't think Boonblade's better than the others, but who knows? Who knows? With the new rings and stuff, we'll see. Dude, that one ring that, like, was it the Amortson ring? Whenever you apply an elemental state, just 5% attack for the remainder of the fight. That might be like dude, that might be one of the most important rings now in the game. If you're able to just fill your deck with like 6 to 8 elemental applications, and by turn 4 you're at like 25% extra attack for the rest of the fight, that's crazy, dude. Just run companions that apply elemental states as well. You could get crazy stats. All right, Blunderbust. This hero is a perfect reflection of their identity, a powerful archer who assails enemies in a barrage of shots. However, they are undeniably too powerful. We've therefore adjusted some of their tools without touching their identity. So Blunderbust Fire, all your heroes' dart auras are increased by 100% to your hero's dart aura damage. They made it stronger. 100%, 110% to your dart aura damage. Okay. So reinforcement, when you play a spell that costs 5 or more, plus 1 dart aura, 100%. So they made the dart aura stronger, so they must have nerfed something bad. Let's see. When your hero gains 1 dart aura, your companions gain the same 100% to your hero's dart aura damage. Okay. So they basically said screw you to the companion build. You just don't get dart aura damage if you want to go this build. Okay, and then what's the precision? When one of your characters apply Rain, Rock, Flame, Lightning, effect on the same enemies and line with them, 100% to your hero's dart aura damage. When one of your characters apply this, affect the same enemies, 70% of your hero's dart aura damage. I mean, dude, you know what's sad to think? Like, I understand this, like, you lose 100% of your dart aura damage, but damn, dude, I sit here and look at this like, bruh, I bet you could still go this build and still do just fine. That's kind of the silly thing about Blunderbust. It was so good that even with 130% damage removed, like, I still think this is OP, man. Like, the amount of damage that this build spreads and can do and can still do insane single target, is bonkers. Now you're not going to be doing like 400 plus damage repelling darts anymore. You're going to be doing like 200, but still you're doing like 200 like 6, 7, 8 times in a turn. Like Blunderbust is still, I dare say, still probably an S tier class. I don't think this affects them that much. It just makes them so they can't one shot. They one turn, they 2-turn. It's basically the same thing as Zandezier. They were like, oh, it's fine. We just 2-turn now rather than 1 turn. Okay, we'll keep reading. But this so far to me necessary. We knew that this was such a good build. They basically said, hey, can you try to make the other two work? Only giving 10% bonus to the dart aura damage for these two. It's fine. It didn't need it. They're trying to basically incentivize you going over to these builds. I still think you just stick to this build, dude. It's such a crazy combo, and you just do so much damage. But let's keep rolling. Oh God, Shaden, please don't get nerfed. This hero is in a good place power-wise and excels in movement. We lowered their hitting power and shown up their gameplay around improving spells in hand. Oh no! Oh no! I'm getting really nervous. So Shaden energy instead of 30%, now it's 50% to the spells in hand. Shaden concentration, when your hero teleports 10% to the damage of spells in your hand. New effect is 20% to the spell in hand. No, they nerfed us. Your hero does 5% of their max health on opponents. Now it does 4% of their max health. I mean, I had said this so many times on stream. If there was to be a nerf, it would be to the damage that you can do. I said that they should not go any lower than 3%. I have to be happy with this because I said don't go below 3 or else you're just gutting the class. Making it 4, sure. It is kind of annoying though, because like, bruh, have you seen the other classes and what they can do as AoE? But I can't be too upset. 4% is still okay, but I mean that's like, you know, that's a lot of damage. I mean, essentially, if you're a 3,000 HP Shaden, which is pretty cracked, you're doing 120 per teleport instead of 150. So you're losing about 30 per teleport. At most, you're doing like 120, 150, 120 to 150 less on teleports. It is what it is. Shaden's still fine. Zandezier Zo, the last version of this hero was overpowerful, able to finish off the game content in 1 turn. Now their power level is within average range for other classes and heroes. Why are they trying to hard balance all when other classes are missing? I think here's the deal. They took a good month and a half to really look at things without any patches. They probably noticed a lot of classes were just doing a little bit too much. So let's clean those up a little bit, because I think their thing is they're not trying to balance the game for like the current setting. I think they're just trying to keep some classes like feeling good moving forward. Cause like you got to think about something like, so Zandezier, or not Zandezier, but like Shaden. I mean, it's safe to say that like as we move forward in the game, Shaden's just going to get more and more health, right? Of course, other classes are going to get more and more attack and stuff, but is it fair for a Shaden to have like 10,000 attack or 10,000 health and be doing like 500 damage teleports at some point in the game? No, probably not. So it's somewhat of a future proof here by basically saying, okay, so we know you're really strong, we know you're really good, but we should probably put some, you know, insurance in for the future. They can always buff things. I think that's another thing to remember. But for Shaden, I think that's fine. All right, Zandezier. Powerful darts now have the precision. The damage is based on your elemental magics to improve understanding of this hero. Okay, that's good. A lot of people were confused how that works. Hopefully they add this to a lot of other tooltips, because a lot of other classes have a passive that just deal damage based on elemental magics, aka motivation dart for archers. So Zandezier Precision previously did 25% to your hero's dart aura damage when you play a spell, 15% extra for the turn. Now it's 20% extra for the turn. Zandezier Master, when you play a spell, 50% of the damage from the next spells. Now it's 60%. Okay, so Zandezier just got some extra spell power buffs. That's fine. That's fine. Oh no, Air Blunderbust, the most abusive class in the game, is getting nerfed. No. Oh no. You guys have to descend from fucking heaven for once. I'm so sorry. You guys are actually gonna have to play with another person. You guys just can't solo in 2 minutes. You guys gotta play with other people, and it's a pain. It's a pain. It's a pain playing the most broken OP class, and for them to give you a time extension on that broken OP class to now nerf it. It sucks. I get it. The world's smallest violin is playing for you. Alrighty, let's move on. Eniripsa, Ether Spells, Shameful Sacrifice, cost and action points is 3-1. Not Even Dead 3-2. Not Even Dead is the one you guys were mentioning. I might try a Kokoro build. This would be really fun. Eniripsa Strike. The old effect inflicts your hero's attack when one of your characters releases a heart aura 25 and is now 35% spell damage. Okay. So let's look at Kokoro. This here's offensive and defensive decks were already satisfactory. We've shown up only a few aspects of this character. We've also adjusted Rufus upwards. So Paintbrush Spike, the Ether spell, old effect was inflicts 50% of your character's armor on an opponent. Now it's 100%. Bro, I'm telling you, Kokoro armor builds might be super cracked. I'm really looking forward to this. Kokoro Collective, old effect, when you summon a companion, confers 50% of your hero's attack as armor on all your companions. Now it's 100% of your attack as armor on all your companions. I'm really liking this idea. Rufus, old effect was gain 200% of your hero's attack as armor. Now it's 50% of your hero's attack and 200% of your attack as armor. So yeah, they're just making Rufus stronger. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you're a Kokoro player, you can totally keep to like a true companion build. But there's the support build that you can do where whenever you trigger support, you do AoE around you based on your armor. I'm telling you, I think that is like such a good Kokoro build now. I think that's going to absolutely be something to consider moving forward, especially if you stack more into just getting attack, because your support, the passive of Kokoro is you get armor based on your attack. So if you can get to like 100, 150 attack, which isn't hard, you're getting quite a bit of armor every time you play something. Like Kokoro could be really fun. Yeah, I have the Kokoro armor support. It's really good. I'm telling you, Tipsy, I would love to see that build. It might be something we try today. Kokoro looks really fun. And that build, we watched a video of that build and it's just super, super silly. Like, dude, like that build, they went into a level 100 vampire boat and they were doing like every turn on their own, like 700-800 AoE, and they had like 1,000 armor. And what they were doing with companions was just really fun. It wasn't just play a big fat companion and let them go to work. They were playing companions like Shushette to reduce the AP cost of their hand. They were playing Lu to draw more 3 AP cards. And then they were using cards like Not Even Dead to throw Lu back into their companion zone so that they could then summon Lu again. Lu has an upgrade where you can reduce the cost of those cards from 3 to 2. So they were basically like guaranteeing like throw out Lu, get 3 cards at 2 AP, drop those, make them extremely cheap, boom, shoot her back into the deck. Now I'm just noticing something. Not Even Dead would not be able to be drawn off of that. Maybe that's why they changed Not Even Dead to 2 AP. So you can't hunt for it, because that Lu combo was sick. Like play it, get some cards, drop the cost, throw out Not Even Dead for 2 AP, throw it back into the companion field. Boom, boom, boom. Regardless, I bet you could play a 9-card deck and be completely fine not hitting Not Even Dead every turn. I don't think that's the end of the world, but we'll see. Kokoro looks really cool. You should try it. I'd have to level up, but I think it'd be really fun. All right, let's move over to Scalpel. This hero is strong, strong and can end up in sticky situations. Only very slight changes have been made to this version. So Scalpel, the previous spell, Apostruker Scalpel Ether spell, inflicted your hero's attack on the opponents with the most and least health. Now it inflicts on the opponent with the least health, then the one with the most. I think the idea behind this is that you may not accidentally just attack the same one twice. I think that's why people are probably getting pissed that they like, yeah, dude. Oh, it lets you do challenges easier. Okay, yeah, okay. Because yeah, what if you like struck this one and then it hit them again or something? I got you. Sure, it's not a major cleanup. That's totally for challenges. I agree. Apostruker. The old effect was when one of your companions transforms an attack, you heal your hero 25% of their attack. Now you heal your hero 50% of their attack. Yeah, crazy. A lot of companion related things. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. You know, companions are fun in this game, but but I do think the companions are a very it's like a straight line approach to the game. Usually you're summoning a companion because they just do big things. However, like in this case, you know, like oh, what's the 3 AP? Is it Shura? The one that when you attack it actually heals you. You could actually attack, heal yourself, which then they trigger their attack and heal yourself, so you could actually heal yourself twice with that character. So there's some interesting combinations you could do with this. I don't think you stray from the traditional skill bonuses, which is do damage to the highest and lowest, and then when you gain armor, you also, when you heal yourself, you gain armor, and when you gain armor, you trigger your hero passive. Those two work way too good together. Okay, Voracious Blade. This hero was undeniably the most powerful in version 0.12 and needed to be rebalanced. We've modified the method used to calculate Voracious Vitality to the attack gained. So that the attack gain no longer takes into the account the other gains or bonuses. In exchange, we've increased the hero skill ratio to make this hero less powerful but consistent with the other classes and heroes. In addition, we've modified how the Voracious move skill works so that this hero no longer inflicts their attack twice on the main target. We will be keeping a close eye on the new analytic data that comes out for future changes. AKA Voracious Blade, you're on the hot seat, dude. They know how OP you are. Okay, so the new skill are the hero skills, Voracious Vitality, modification in the attack gain calculation method. So the old effect was at the start of fight, your hero gains 1% of their max health as attack. Now you're getting 3% of their max health as attack. What the hell? Okay. As a reminder, the initial skill was 2% of their max health as attack. So what's the difference here? The original skill was 2% of the max health as attack. Now they're giving you 3. Did you miss the IOP section? No, I don't believe so. We're getting there. So basically what they're saying, it's based on your... It's a start of fight thing, so everything's going to take into account start of fight, because this is considered start of fight. It's not scaling off of one another, is what they're saying. So calculator. So for example, a lot of attack builds would go like injuring. So if you came into the attack with 100 attack, you're getting 1.2, right? So you're at 120. So what they're saying here, say you have 2,000 health, it's going to give you 3% of that. So times 0.03. So you're going to get 60 attack. So say you're a 100 attack Voracious Blade, right? You're 100. Say you were running injuring. Instead of being 160 because of that bonus and then starting to multiply off of that, they're saying that you're 100. You're going to do all of your start of fight modifications at the same time. So you're going to do injuring. Whoops. You're going to do injuring, and then you're just going to add the 60 from the health. So what? In our example, we had 192. Now we're down to 180. At the same time, 3% of their max health. I know a lot of Voracious Blades that get up to 3k health. So that means you're giving them 90 attack. Bonus from passive is additive at the end of calculation. Yeah, exactly. So you're not multiplying off of it, but still, like, you can get like a 3k Voracious pretty easy. And you're looking at like 90% extra attack off of that. That's bonkers, dude. It's a lot less damage overall. Fair enough. 3% max health as attack. I think that's solid moving forward. Like right now it might not be good, but we're only going to get better stats on gear. We're only going to get more health as the game moves on. Right now it might be a damage loss, but moving forward, I mean, that sounds solid. Anything that scales off of max health, I think is a really smart thing. Moving forward, we're going to get more gear. Something out there is going to give you like 100% health rather than 50 off of the equipment. And you're just going to get like fat stats. You just watch. You go from 80 to 190 at the start of fight. Yeah, I think this is big. You may not be, quote, as strong right now. But I'm telling you, like, 3% max health at the start of your fight moving forward. Like when we get into level 70, level 80, like basically being able to just go crazy health as Voracious with drain and you can do like fat AoE damage because that's the traditional build people go is the max health with AoE. Bro, like that's really, really, really good. I think this is fine. I'm not a big Voracious player. Some Voracious players might be really upset. I think this is really healthy moving forward. Pun intended. So yeah, so Tamashi now, when you summon a Nocturne, it gets your heart auras. You're gonna get, instead of 10% attack, 15. Okay. Probably still playable. Just dropped her for Coco. Yeah, Voracious. Yeah, Coco looks fun. Voracious is fine. Not everything can be the most broken class. Okay, so the old effect is Tamashi power. When you summon one Nocturian, 75% attack to your hero for the turn. When you summon one Nocturian, 75% attack to your hero for the turn. Yeah, these are the same thing. This is what you were mentioning earlier. There's supposed to be a typo. I hope they mention what it is. Interesting. Oh, it was 50 before? Okay, that would make sense. So instead of 50, I think you're right. Instead of 50 attack to your turn, it's going to be 75 now. Okay. And then Tamashi appearance. When you summon a Nocturne, your hero inflicts 50% of their attack around it. Now it's going to be 60. I still don't think you play Tamashi. I just don't think it's good. I think if you like what Tamashi's doing. So think of it this way. Think about this. So like Tamashi, summon a Nocturne, do AoE around it. You can do the same thing with Voracious. Instead of going pure attack build, you're pure HP. You're like 3k HP doing fatty AoE and damage and drain. And Nocturne, you have to go glass cannon attack to make it useful. It's just weird. Tamashi's in a weird position. Like, if you could make your Nocturians be able to like endure an attack or two, I think Tamashi would be better. But you throw these things out, they just get bopped right away. It doesn't feel good. It does not feel good that their summons just get wrecked because they don't scale at all. They'll have to consider that. So, okay, Dephasing Gem. Interesting. I want to try a gem build. Everybody was saying go support gem. I don't know how that'd work. Let's see what happened to them. This hero has real potential in terms of power, but lack depth. In version 0.13, we've increased their raw power. We'll give this hero more attention in the future work. To work more on their identity. All right, cool. So the old effect, when dephased, 20% to your next spell's damage per opponent gone through. Now it's 30%. Dephased spirits, old effect, when an ally or opponent dies, place a spirit heart around them. New effect, when your hero loses a heart aura, you place one spirit heart on a cell adjacent to a random opponent. Interesting. So yeah, now it's when you lose a heart aura. So you could attack, whenever you attack, interesting, because you could be placing spirit hearts on your turn now. You could give yourself a heart aura, and then there's skills that remove heart auras, and now you can place a spirit heart. So now the spirit heart effect, when an ally stops on it, 5% of their max health end of turn, at the end of turn, it self-destructs and deals 30% of their attack on a random. Now it's going to heal 10% of their max health. At the end of turn, it self-destructs, inflicts 30% of their attack on a random opponent for each opponent in play. So I'm really confused about this. I never read this prior. So hold on. It self-destructs and inflicts 30% of your hero's attack on a random opponent for each opponent in play. So give me a second. Like, if a spirit heart is out and there's 5 opponents, is it going to hit all 5? Okay, it's going to increase the attack of it. I was like, am I hitting all of them? All right, so if there's 6 characters, it's going to do 180% of my hero's attack on a random. Okay. All right. What happened to the chibis? Yeah, give me a second. Once we're done with the patch notes. Once we're done with the patch notes. I saw the stats on Grand Dread. I don't care. I don't care about NGS. Unfortunately. Okay. Here we go. So, Bovalor. This is the shield one. We've slightly lowered their deck's power and improved the functionality of 2 passes that are not chosen by players. Okay, I'm curious about these passes. So, hero skills. Orok Shock. Old effect, when your hero charges, inflicts 50% of the attack on opponents around the target. Now just 35. attack on the target and opponents are on the target. Well, that kind of sucks. I didn't think, did you guys think that Orok was like OP? I thought Orok was in a good position. I didn't think they were like busted or anything. Weird for them to nerf it like that. Orok push, when you hear a charges, it pushes target that many cells as recovered. 25% of your attack bonus is converted into collision damage. Now, when you push one cell plus the number of cells, 35% of your bonus is converted into collision damage. Yeah, I don't know. I never really liked it. We tried doing like a push build. You absolutely can make push builds work. You can. I mean, it makes them stronger now. Somebody's going to make a really cool Orok push build. It's just kind of weird that they like nerfed the attack part. Because like, oh, what did I just do? Whoops. What did I just do? What's like weird to me is like with the Orok build is... What's weird to me is it didn't feel like they were that good. Most of the charge spells were like 4 to 5 AP. It wasn't like I was getting like 2 or 3 charges off in a turn. It was almost impossible to. That was my frustration with Orok, was like, I wish I could use this skill more to do more damage. I can't though. I can only get like 1 AoE off. I wasn't doing a lot of damage. I was putting myself in a very compromised position to do a lot of AoE attack to people. It was not that good. It's surprise. It's really surprising. I'm really interested. I'm really curious to see why they decided to make that happen. But let's read the rest of the skills. Their Orok push we already did. Double charge. Charges the inline character 5 cells away. 80% attack of them and adds a ghostly charge to your hand. The new effect. This is the same thing. Oh, ghostly charge is probably the change now. So... yeah, hero charge, inline character, 5 cells away, inflicts their attack on them. Now you do 80%. Yeah, I'm really curious. Like, did anybody think? Yeah, I don't think they needed to nerf Orok. I never once saw an Orok build that felt exceptionally OP or felt so small brain strategic wise that like it's just go through and just rush everything. Like Orok, you couldn't just run into 10 people. You kind of had to play around being able to do damage to certain things and keep yourself kind of away from things. Sure, you could just charge into someone, but you didn't want to just run into like 6 attacks. You weren't going to one-shot them anyways because you were only doing 50% of your attack on opponents, and you only had so many skills you could use in a turn. Like, really weird. It was 100. It's now 80 on the ghostly charge. It's just weird. I don't know how I feel about that. It's weird. It's like Orok basically. So what they did for Orok, instead of just buffing Orok push and making this viable for 2 builds, they've basically said, we want you to play Orok as a push build. Because I have seen push collision builds even at 25%. They did pretty solid damage. Just weird. Very weird. Very weird on Kama. Okay, Kasai, this hero was overpowerful. We've adjusted their power downwards and we'll be paying close attention to them in future data that emerges. So Kasai Explosion, when you apply a state, inflicts 50% of your hero's attack around them. New effect, when you apply an elemental state, it inflicts 40% of your attack around them. All right. And then old effect, now instead of 10% elemental damage per sword or it's 15. This is negligible. Nobody's going to be going Kasai magic. You're only going to be... what is that, 75% elemental damage? I still don't think that's enough. I don't think this is a good build either because it's basically on the same thing as like Gcan, but I just don't think Kasai has enough spells or like enough good spells to make this a thing. So yeah, I guess the push Kasai is getting buffs, but yeah, the Kasai Explosion being 40 is fine. That doesn't seem like the end of the world to me. The real reason you want this, yeah, it's just fatty AoE. That's fine. That's fine. Kasai nerf is fine, but the magic is a weird buff. Fairblade. This hero makes use of tools that need to be adjusted downwards. Like the most solid sentence without saying they're OP. Yes. Well... oh god, please nerf Fairblade, dude. Fairblade Strike, old effect, attack inflicts 60% of 50% of their armor on the target as extra damage. Now it does 60% of their armor as the extra damage. Fairblade Master, when you trigger melee, your hero gains 20% of their attack as armor per opponent around them. New effect, when you trigger melee, your hero gains 15% of their attack as armor per opponent around them. Sure. They're basically cutting the generation by 25%, but the problem is like, I mean, they've probably done some testing, but the problem with Fairblade is once they get through like 1 or 2 turns and they still have armor, it's a free fight, and that's the issue. We'll see if the 15% is enough to make Fairblades like have to think instead of just running into the corner and just triggering shit tons of armor, but we'll see. Oh no, it's really weird about Fairblade. Like, yeah, it is about speedrunning right now, but like once we get to other content where it's really difficult again, Fairblade's going to be a really easy creature to just put into a corner, have 2 things attacking you at most, and I'm getting 3+ melee procs and doing damage. They never really cared about the extra damage though. It's a fair, it's a justifiable nerf without just completely removing something. They make you do more damage with. Fairblade didn't care about. Their whole goal was like, make sure I can live, and then it's a free fight, right? So they didn't care about this extra damage up here. Losing 5% of attack or armor generation is pretty important. We'll have to see how that plays out. Very true. It gives 200% attack as shield at start a fight. That is very true. They just get a fat shield. You're totally right. That's so true. Yeah, so dude, Fairblade, yeah, you don't have armor, but now you just get a fatty armor ring at the beginning. That's funny. And then Brutal Demonstration costs an action point 6 to 7. I don't know what Brutal Demonstration was, but we'll have to read in game. All right, Stalaktoss, one of the classes I play. Let's see what's happening. Powerful and fun to play. This hero gains slightly too much armor for an attack-oriented build. We've adjusted some of their tools downward. You son of a bitch. Spiritual Stream. It used to do 25% of your attack. Now it's 40%. Ult effect while your hero is dephased. They gain 50% of their attack as armor. Now it's 40% of attack. Damn. Damn. Why you do me like that, bro? All right, so I had an idea for a build, and it was a spiritual stream build. It was a companion-based spiritual stream build, and that might be a really fun build now. I mean, dude, what the fuck? Let's think about this. Can we think about this for a goddamn second? And sorry for my freaking French coming out, but can we think about this for a second? Fairblade, one of the most broken classes, gets a 5% nerf to their armor generation. But Stalaktoss gets a 10% armor reduction? What the fuck? And we didn't get buffs to this. They got a buff to damage. We didn't even get a buff to damage. Have you lost your goddamn mind, Nakama? This is bullshit. I don't know. It's weird. That's like, I mean, I guess in all honesty, I guess the thought was what Theo is saying, like, is the implication that most attack builds are just going to go that new ring to get like 600 attack, 400 attack, whatever, or 400 armor at the beginning of the fight. And then you don't care because the first few attacks you're going to be able to generate past that. Is that the whole plan? Like, it's very weird. Zero thought through the entire patch. It's very suspicious because like I've played Stalaktoss and like Stalaktoss plays very similar to Fairblade, where it's like once I get enough armor generation, I'm pretty much safe. The fucking difference is I still have to move and I still have to like go through things and like reposition myself. I have to like do things in the match to make sure I get my armor. Fairblade just stands in a goddamn corner and gets 15% of their attack per armor to 3 things minimum every time. I actually have to run through and swing at things. And they also get attack when they're armored based on the armor they generate. I don't get that. Like, it's so weird. It's a very unusual. I don't know. I never thought Stalaktoss was like super OP busted. They could farm pretty damn quick and the class was really fun to play. I'm okay with it. But when you compare it to what like Fairblade got nerfed on, I sit here like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. The Buneblade is sussy. All right, Spectral. We're satisfied with this hero's identity, and we've given them a slight boost to their offensive dex. So Soul Link, the old effect was attack. Your Spectral Souls gain 20% attack and inflict their attack around themselves. New effect is they get 25. Dude, I'm telling you, the Spectral Soul is solid. So once again, this also, the Spectral Souls, this pairs with the other buff that they gave about the summonables compared to companions felt a bit weak. So they upped them from 4% to 5%. I'm going to assume that the Spectral Souls are going to be a little bit stronger. They get some of your attack, and now they're going to gain even more attack and inflict their attack around themselves. So I think that's solid. You might be able to just play around your Spectral Souls and do decent damage. Sacrifice inflicts 100% of your hero's attack. Now it does 200 of your attack. Bro, Spectral feeling good. That's awesome buffs for Spectral. I don't know any. I mean, most Spectral players must be just like happy as hell with that. That's just straight buffs. Congrats. Spectral would be fun to play. Alrighty, to Sram. This is all I hear about is how OP Sram is nowadays. So let's give this a checky. The Sram heroes lack power overall. The traps are strong but require a degree of agility in their use compared to classic damage spells. We've slightly lowered the power of stone slip traps for consistency with the rest of the rebalancing. Okay, so Sneaky Shadow, that's the one that summons your creature, I think. So from 3 to 2, Shadow Skin, that's the one that gives you untargetable. It did go from 6 to 5. Elemental Spells, Descent, does 21 damage to your hero and one of your traps. Now it does 35 damage around heroes and traps. Sram traps, they did buff the damage across the board. Stone Slip Trap, old one was -2 movement points. Now the new one is -1. That's fine. Pretty much the only real like nifty trap builds was just going stone and just making sure things don't move. It was goofy. Okay, Shugen Flayer. This is the big one. Everybody's like, we're all just going to be playing Shugen. And here is good potential, but their power is slightly below average. We've given them a big boost. Oh, I don't even have to read anymore. I just saw 75 and 250. Holy shit. When Astral is applied, inflicts 75% to your 75% of your hero's attack on the target. Now it's 250. This effect no longer works when Astral is applied by an ally. Holy shit, though. 250. That's a massive buff. That's really strong. I have like a level 27 Shugen. We might play today and get to 30. And you can very easy be popping this off. Now, question, I wonder if your companions, so it says an ally, so I wonder if you're like as that can apply Astral, if that triggers it. If not, in all honesty, you just run those ones that apply elemental states, apply oiled, apply wet, run around and apply shit, and then you just come back around on your turn and just boom, 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 drop them and create. It does? Okay, cool. Well, there you go. So this is more for like ally fighters, but your companions can still trigger it probably. Shugen Magic, old effect was 10% to your elemental spell damage per opponent. With an elemental state, Killing Blow 5% to your elemental spell damage. Now it's 25, and then Killing Blow gives you 20% elemental spell damage. Okay. And old effect was 15% attack to your hero per opponent with an elemental state. Killing Blow gives you 10% attack. Now it's 25 and 15 attack. Dang, bro. Dude. Wow. Well, the skills you go is Astral and Power, Shugen Power. Those are the ones you previously did, and they just give you buffs across the board. Wow, Shugen. What the fuck? And then Shugen Strategy, 125% to your trap damage. Nobody cares. Shugen Power, Shugen Astral, fatty damage. Oh no, Trapper's SSS. It's not even Trapper. You're not even playing traps with this Shugen build. You're just creating Astral. Ken Kartana. This hero's current state is slightly less than what we expected. What? Dude, Kartana's great. We've therefore made a slight adjustment to their power. What? Oh no, what'd they do? So when your hero triggers an allied Sram Trap, it inflicts 75% attack on the surrounding opponents. When your hero triggers a Sram Trap, it now does 70% attack. Okay. So Kartana Mastery, when your hero triggers an allied Sram trap, and it does 75. Now it's going to do 70. Oh, they're doing the same thing where they're just making the collision better. When your hero triggers an allied Sram trap, it pushes them 3 cells. Instead of 25% of your attack conversion, now it's 40. All right. Well, Kartana push was already a thing. Now it's definitely going to be a thing. Yeah, so I don't like these statements don't fit, because it's the same with Orok. These statements don't fit with what they want to do. Basically, what they're saying is, we don't see anybody going collision, so we're going to nerf everything else in the kit just a bit, and then buff the other thing, which I don't get. I didn't make your fucking pass. I didn't make your hero skills. I didn't choose what hero skills you put into a build. I'm sorry if Kartana push just isn't interesting, but I could just do fatty AoE and consistent damage with the other one, and that makes way more sense for fights. Don't punish me because you put Kartana push here, and now you're like, well, the state is slightly less than we expected. What did you expect? These to be even? No. One does fatty AoE, the other does like single push collision damage, but you have to have things set up. Like, it's a no-brainer somebody goes Kartana Mastery that triggers off of their base, like, consistent. Like, the no-brainer. It's really goofy. And it's the same thing with Orok, where they're like, what, like doing 50% AoE was too much? Like, the skills cost 4 and 5 AP, you're only doing like 1 skill a turn. Compare that to like Kasai that could just auto attack twice every turn and do 40 to 50% AoE guaranteed. It's really goofy what they thought. Yeah, it's like very data driven rather than like a realistic approach. Because I think if you asked any like person who's played a while, like, hey, how's Ken Kartana? You'd be like, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I don't even think Kartana needed buffs. I think they were pretty good. It's really goofy. All right. Amurai Blade. This hero has interesting potential, but they were ignored because they are too weak compared to the other heroes. We sharpened their weapon in this version. Okay, so base passive. When one of your traps is triggered, your hero heals 50% of their attack. Now it heals 80%. All right, that's pretty baller. Now the question... no. Okay, that's fine. So Amurai support now also heals the characters that trigger the trap if they're an ally. Oh... Actually, that's pretty baller for Amurai. So now your traps can actually trigger heals on you and your ally, and it's going to heal you 80% of your attack. That's pretty cool. Amurai can like actually be a bit of a healer. Old effect for Amurai Collective was when you were healed, it would give you 10% attack to allies and 5% damage to your elemental spells. Now it's going to give you 15% attack to allies and 15% damage to your spells. So Amurai is straight up Sram support. That's basically what they're doing. So like you can heal yourself, you can heal allies. When they when your hero is healed, you give attack to allies. You could pair this with the if you paired this with the ring. What's the ring? It's the ring that Scalpel plays. Where is it? Let me just get it. Spidle. Yeah, Spidle has the ability that when an ally is healed based from one of your heals, you can you heal yourself again. So you could very easily let me just get to the so when you heal, I think I have it. Yeah, when you heal an ally, your heals themselves 10% of the healing. So you could very easily wear the Spidle ring. So now when someone triggers your trap, you heal yourself, triggering 15% attack. You heal the ally, triggering heal on yourself again to trigger 15% attack again. So if you could set like 2 or 3 traps out and your allies go and trigger them, you're giving them like 60 to 90% attack to your allies. Think about that. Like Amurai is like straight up like super duper support. Team super duper support. Because you could guarantee like 60 to 90% attack to all allies for their turns. That's kind of bonkers to think about. Okay, when your hero is healed, inflicts 3% of their health on adjacent opponents. New effect, it inflicts 5%. The problem that that Amurai players had and they did not address it is that this is based on your current health rather than your max health that most other classes deal with. Like Shaden, for example, when they teleport, they deal damage based on their max health. This is their current health. So if you have 50% of your health, you're only doing 3%, well now 5% of your health, which is 50%. So if you have 2,000 health, you're at 50% of it, so you're at 1,000. You're only doing 50 damage rather than the 100 that another class would be doing, say for example, Shaden. So that's really, really sad that they didn't address that. However, I mean, they basically just said Amurai is a support now, and Amurai support sounds pretty silly. If you could set 2 to 3 traps out consistently, be at like 150 attack, you could very easily heal, and now you're providing 10 or 15% attack boosts to everybody for the turn. That's really solid. I'm actually curious to like look into that some more. We'll have to get Kaze into the chat and see what he thinks about it, because you could very easily go Amurai support, Amurai collective for hero skills, and basically just be a big fatty support class. Okay. Amurai Dephasing. Old effect was when one of your traps is triggered, confers Dephasing on your hero and 100 attack till the end of turn. Now, when one of your traps is triggered, you confer Dephasing on your hero and 125% attack until the end of turn. Now, see, this is another thing. This is an interesting thing too, because when one of your traps is triggered, you can give yourself extra attack. If you ran Amurai support, that allies are healed if they trigger that trap. I mean, you trigger, you're going to get Dephasing and get 100% attack, making your heals stronger for both you and your allies. It's cool. It's interesting. I actually think Amurai is pretty nifty. I think as a solo class, Amurai probably isn't the best, but dude, they became a really good support class. I really like this ability now. Your allies can run to a trap, and you can give your whole team extra attack. I think that is super cool. What's up, Mosquito? My boy Mario. Yeah, we're just going through the patch notes. I haven't gone through them yet, so. Okay, so then the Amurai Blade base attack went from 15 to 5. Spawn gains 35% of your hero's attack. All right, so they just gave him more attack. Dude, look, we're like not even halfway through this patch. It's crazy. So, Shurokan Shiv, this hero's overall playstyle is mostly satisfactory. We've given their power a slight boost. Wow. More Sram boosts. So Slip Trap, the Shurokan Slip Trap now has the precision, or the I guess precision, basically. They're saying it's just like a note. The damage is based on your elemental magics to improve understanding of the hero. Cool. Damage was increased from 21 to 24. So Shurokan efficiency. So old effect was when you triggered it, you got 25% of your hero attack on opponents around your trap. Oh, the damage you inflicted 25%. Now it goes to 35% around your opponent's trap, around your traps on the opponents. All right, cool. I know this was a big build for Shurokan. You would just throw these down and do massive spread damage. I actually saw a really good Shurokan build. I think it was Anvi's Shurokan build. However, it required like team fighting, because if he wasn't being focused, then it was much easier to set these traps out. But he was doing fatty damage. It would be very easy now to do more damage. And the damage on the traps are even bigger, so you can create bigger assemblies and do damage too. Shurokan Mastery, when you trigger Conspiracy, 25% to your trap damage for the turn. Now it's 60. Okay. Wow. Okay, so there's a clip somewhere. Oh God. I think it was Andy. He had a pure spell build of Shurokan where he was going only strictly spell damage, because slip traps are based on all your damage. And so he would just run all 4 traps and basically just keep triggering Conspiracy to get slip traps, drop a bajillion slip traps. And then because he's triggering Conspiracy multiple times, he would then finish off by pushing you into them. And he would be doing like thousands, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of damage, because every regular slip trap was doing like 100 to 150 based on his elemental magic. But now amplifying that rather than 25% to 60, that's like so huge, dude. I would like to see Andy play that build again. I want to see what damage he can get up to, because this is... No, it was Charles. Where's Charles, dude? Where's Charles? I need to message this to him. He was the one that had this build, and I would like to see it again. This is some fatty damage. This. I'm telling you, spell damage Shurokan. This is a massive buff to what you can do. I saw some really fun stuff out of that build. Shurokan Shadow, old effect. When an opponent activates a slip trap, your hero teleports to an adjacent cell and inflicts their attack on them. Now you're going to inflict 110%. Okay. So there's the Ether spell, Slip Trap Knight. Old effect was you draw your next conspiracy spell, release one of your trapper auras. Now you draw your next conspiracy spell and add Shurokan Slip Trap to your hand. That's so good, bruh. I know that like everybody's on Shugen Flayer, but Shurokan Shiv pure spell trap build is actually massive. No, this is big. All right, so let's go to Orishi. This hero is overpowerful with a collision build, which will be weakened in the version. With the drop in collision damage, we've also taken the opportunity to improve the Orishi power hero skill, which players weren't using. Yeah, no shit. It was like collision and that was it, bro. So Orishi power, the old effect was 10% hero's attack for each of your traps on the field. New effect is 15% of the hero's attack and 50% to your spell damage for each of your traps on the field. I mean, it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter because nobody was running Orishi that wasn't collision. That's the thing. So that's a whatever kind of thing. Xelor, okay, let's go. So Ether Spell's Exactitude went from 8 to 7. That's fine because it originally went 6 to 8. I think that's a good middle ground. We were talking about this earlier, but you know, if you're running like 15 card decks with Jelly Ring, you could easily cast that. However, you probably don't want to be running 15 card with Exactitude because Exactitude is, you know, you want that in your hand basically right off the bat because then you just give yourself massive reserve AP. But yeah, it is what it is. I think that's fine. I don't play a lot of Xelor. I don't know how Xelor is going to react, but it's my third day with WAVEN. No worries. We're going through a massive patch note that happened, my soul, and just kind of breaking through it. So Cog, the old effect was inflict your Sinister's plating on your opponents around them and draw your next Sinister spell. Now it's 200% of your Sinister's plating. Massive, dude. I'm telling you, premium builds I think are just gonna I think premium and possibly Grapapa builds are gonna go crazy with Cog. There's a ring that they upgraded that instead of 40% increased plating, it goes to 75, and we'll read into it more in game, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to bring out a Sinister with like 150 plating, one or two of them drop Cog and like hit for like 400 on the things AoE, like in a single turn. Rhythm, reduced AP cost. Tako. Its hero's power is acceptable. We've modified some of their little play tools slightly. So their first skill, Tako Power. When one of your characters performs an attack, it does 5% per remaining AP. It now just does flat damage, 5 damage per remaining AP. So I feel like these are like massive nerfs, right? Unless this damage. So the only way to test this is to go into game and like equip spell power, random spell power things and see. But yeah, if it's magic damage, then it could be okay. It could be better. I mean, with your spell power, you might be able to get this up to like 15 or 20, but I don't know if that's worth it at that point. You made the Scissor Trapper. Oh, you did Orishi Shears. He's really good. Alrighty, Tako Teleportation. So cost and action points went down from 6 to 5. Reserve, the old flex, inflicts your hero's attack, 5 damage per reserve action point. Now it does 15% damage per server. Okay, sorry, I like jumbled there, but it's going to do 15% damage per reserve AP now to your next spell. Dude, I mean, I'm really excited to see the damage that some Takos can throw out, because if you can stack up to 9 AP, throw Tako reserve out, I mean, you could get, you know, like another like 100 plus spell damage off of this one skill, and then chunk out something massive. That'd be very interesting to see just how good or how powerful this can be. I don't think Tako got changed much from what it was originally doing. I know there was like a primarily like a destruction build that basically did all their damage or most of their damage off of this right here, but I don't think this is a big nerf or anything. But this is pretty big. All right, PQ. This hero's power is a little low, but offset by strong mobility. We have just some of their tools upwards. Okay, so Piku got a buff. Okay, so the old effect when your hero teleports inflicts 30% of their attack on the opponent with the most health, and now it's 35. instability. Old effect was when your hero teleports, they gain 10% attack till the end of turn. Now it's 25% attack. Bruh, okay. Might be time to make a Piku, bro. Like, I don't, does Uncommon know that like this right here is massive. 25% attack until the end of turn. That's 15% more. If you're a 100 attack Piku, which you would never be, you'd be more like 200. Now you're going to 250 instead of 220. Like 30 plus extra attack off of one teleport. And you're going to be doing like 2 or 3. You're going to be finishing your turns like 300 plus attack now. That's solid, dude. We were like secretly hush hush about it. I mean, Piku being able to farm low level stuff is whatever, but they definitely made Piku farming low level stuff way easier now. But yeah, that's fine. Sure. Buff Piku. Everybody's going to have a Piku within a month. I promise you. So, all right, Gcan, my second favorite boy. This year's Elemental Mage Identity has been strengthened with some of their hero skills. So Gcan attack, the old effect when you consume a state does 10 damage. Now it does 15. I still don't think that's valuable. I mean, it's 50% stronger. It could be useful. I was really wanting this to be their primary play. The idea that you could just be like a gunslinger and just solo target things down and just do a lot of damage on them. It just wasn't enough with Gcan attack. Gcan magic now from 10% per owl aura in elemental damage to 15%. You could make a case that this could be a solid build going these two hero skills. This is what I had originally done. Now that elemental application doesn't matter as much because you're not going to be healing as much off of that. This is quite a possibility for Gcan mains out there to go magic and attack and just try to do a lot of damage to single targets. It's possible. It's definitely buffs for that type of build. The other build is kind of got nerfed because of the rings. So the premium changes are very good. I'm excited about premium. Let's see. This hero sets premium. This hero sets themselves apart as an excellent puppet master, but certain aspects of their gameplay is not very ergonomic. So Ether Cell, premium protection from 2 to 1. So this is for protecting your Sinistros. Hero skills, premium sequence, old effect. When an allied companion performs an attack, it triggers the effect of your Sinistros. Now, when an allied companion performs an attack, it triggers the effect of your Sinistros. When you summon a mechanism, 100% plating. Let's go, dude. I'm so excited to do freaking Sinistro premium, dude. Like, yes. It was so weird, dude. Premium was so weird when it came out on early access. That build was that class was such a. It was like Sinistro priority on beta. And then on early access, it turned into like companions only, and Sinistros were just useless. I did not understand it at all. And I had been saying for a while, I would really like premiums to get more like plating or more Sinistro support, because they should be the true Sinistro class. I know Grapapa uses Sinistros, but like premium should be like the other, I guess, real Sinistro class. And this is huge right here. 100% plating on mechanisms, bro. You might be able to bring out Sinistros with like 300 to 400 armor, dude. Let's go. Alrighty, recycling. When a Sinistro is destroyed, you get 2 gauges in the same element as a Sinistro. Now, when you build a Sinistro, you get gauges in the same element. What? Oh my god. Motivation. When you cast the activation spell on an allied companion, make them replay their turn. Now, when you cast the activation on an allied companion to make them replay their turn, also when you spawn by one of your companions, you give 20% health to them. Dude, premium's eating good. Premium revenge. When an allied companion dies, it transforms your Sinistros in play. Now it says spawned by one of your companions, it transforms your Sinistros in play. Wow. Dude, like, all right. Ankama, look at what you did here. Look at what you did here for a class. Like, you knew that premium was basically only good for companions. And instead of being like, hey, we don't like the way you're playing this class, let's nerf everything companion based and force you to play mechanism. Now you've made this class very useful for 2 builds. You basically said, hey, we know you're like primarily a companion build. We'll give you some nifty things there, but we're going to make the mechanisms really cool now. Like, they did not nerf anything here. They made companion builds better. And they made mechanism builds like relevant. This is how you're supposed to like clean up a class, not be like, well, we really wanted you to play push builds, so let's nerf everything and force you push. It's so stupid. This is how you clean it up. This is really good. I mean, here's the bottom line. If you want to play premium in the same way, which was rushing rush builds, you totally can. You do it with recycling. Now, instead of having to wait for something to die, you just build a Sinistro, you get the gauge right off the bat, which means you can make really fast one-turn builds if you wanted to. But being able to play it and get the gauge is massive, because you can also hide the Sinistros now. You don't have to let them go out there. Like, you could hide a water Sinistro and keep reactivating it, or you could hide an earth Sinistro and keep getting armor from it, or hide, an air Sinistro for later and be able to activate it at a later date to get out. Like, you could save those for later turns, which is fun. So that makes this, it makes Premium Companion more consistent, because I don't have to wait for things to die. And then I can still go motivation. That's what you did, recycling motivation for companion builds. But now my companions are going to get 20% health. So they're even stronger, or tankier, I should say. That's huge. That's massive, bro. But if I wanted to go a mechanism build, you go right here. When you summon mechanisms, they're going to get 100% plating, triggers the effect of those Sinistros. That's fine with me. In my opinion, I would go Premium Sequence, and I would probably go Revenge, because now you could play like cheap companions, and like turn 1 you could throw out like 1 or 2 things with like 300 HP. Turn 2 you could throw like a bird out, boom, transform all your Sinistros in play. You could totally go sequence recycling for sure. You totally can. Building Sinistros, I think if you go from one into the next, it counts as building. So if you go from a Sinistro into the owl version, it counts as rebuilding it. So you could totally like stack totally. It's a really fun idea. And then, but the only problem I have with this build, you are so heavily banking on Cog. Your whole build is surrounded behind Cog, right? 200% of your Sinistros plating. Your whole goal is that you're going to have like 400 armor, 400 plating, and they're just going to hit for like 800, right? So you would have to probably run a 9-card premium, because you'd have to be able to get that into like turn 2 or 3 Cog, drop them, and then slap them hard, right? But it's a cool idea. It's really fun. That's another build we can test. All right, Tigger Papa, the other Sinistro boy. The modifications made to this hero in the previous patch had a drastic impact on their kit. We've readjusted some of their tools upwards. So their base passive goes from 50% attack on opponents around each of your Sinistros to 60. Healing heals your characters around your Sinistros for 50% of your attack. Now that's 70. And then Grapapa Recharge. The old effect was your Sinistros, when your Sinistro is destroyed, it inflicts 100% of your hero's attack around it. Now when you build a Sinistro, 100% attack. Dang, dude, Grapapa's crazy. This is so nice. I mean, I like what they're doing here. They're basically saying, like, don't wait for our dumb AI. You're able to do things right off the bat. And that is so huge, guys. Like, dude, playing Sinistro was so annoying, because you'd throw them out there for them to get destroyed, and then they would walk around them because they knew that they would do a lot of damage. So they just ignore them. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Cog requires no stats. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That too, Marissa. It was so counterintuitive. Like, do you want to keep your Sinistro alive? But I need gauge, so I need you to kill it. So if you don't attack it, I'm gimped. It was really weird. So I like how they're taking it out of the AI's hands of, hey, is my build going to work or not? But wow, Grapapa's going to do a lot, dude. Because think about this now. So like Grapapa is able to run in, drop a couple Sinistros. When they build a Sinistro, they're doing 100% attack around it. And then at the end of a turn, they're doing 10% more. Grapapa can now do everything on their turn. They don't have to worry at all, right? Like a Grapapa now can build a Sinistro, do 100 attack. They can build 2 very easily. Now, Grapapa also has the indication of like at the end of their turn, for every Grapapa, they get like, oh, I think that's a different skill, but I think you still run this one. They get like 25 or 50% attack or whatever. Based on their like how many Sinistros are out. But yeah, being able to build a Sinistro, get that attack, and then be able to build this. And then if you run that plating ring so that they're like 300 armor, like they may not die. And then going into your next turn, you're able to play more Sinistros. Gurpapa might be really good. Because of this ability here, this could be one of the best farming classes now. Being able to build a Sinistro and do 100 attack around it, that is guaranteed AoE at least two Sinistros turn one. This might be one of the strongest soloing classes now for speedrunning things, because you can go in and do your damage right away. Gurpapa, I would be on the lookout for Gurpapa and what meta changes because of this. Not having to wait for AI. You can just run in. I mean, think about this. Ken Kartana, right? They're doing what Ken Kartana wanted to do. Is Ken Kartana stronger? They run in, they do 75%, and then they do 75% more. So I guess Ken is still stronger, but there was a lot of like solo clearing content with Ken's where they would run in, drop 2 traps, run up, do AoE, run up, do AoE, and the fight's over. And you're farming money that way. You could do a very similar thing with Gurpapa, because you could drop a trap, drop another, or drop a Sinistro, drop another, end your turn, and then be doing 60% attack AoE on both of them. So you're doing about the same damage as Ken Kartana. You're doing more, and it's based on your attack. That's solid, dude. That's really solid. Gurpapa is going to be good. That's amazing, dude. Congrats to Gurpapa. They're going to be strong. Okay, so equipment. Wow, we have so much more here. This is crazy. A huge update, dude. Some equipment is used little or not at all. In this version, we're rebalanced quite a lot of the equipment. We've taken the opportunity to lower the survivability of builds that focus exclusively on attack. Armbands. Okay, so Hoity. So when you attack, you get 25% attack as armor. Their old skill effect was, so they cut down the chance of critical hits. Okay, damn. So they cut down the chance of critical hits, because that was why Hoity was so good, dude. It was like 45-50% crit chance builds. But by the way, this is going to get upped as well. I'm pretty sure later on it's going to say it's 35% guarantee. Alrighty. Rainbow. The rainbow effect was heals your character's 25% of your attack. Now it heals 35. The Ursat's armband, the addition is at 15% to your spell damage. And then there was a skill reworked. Okay, so instead of finding a super companion, 10% to your spell damage. We had asked about that earlier. Is there going to be even more? So this is going to be a guaranteed 25% spell damage, and when you attack, 10% additional spell damage. So it's a 35% spell damage armband. I think that's what you saw in game. Maybe I already had it upgraded. That's why it showed it that way. That is possible. Scammer. This is one of my favorite new items. I'm gonna test builds with this. I think this right here is gonna be really cool. So the old effect was it hit 2 cells in front of the hero. Now it's gonna hit adjacent, and that is so important, man. Like, monsters surround you. So now that you're gonna be able to hit adjacent, you should always be hitting 2 to 3 enemies, and I think that is so cool. I think Scammer could be really good now. I don't know what builds you would want to do this on. My initial thought is something like Kasai. If you can run enough elemental attribution to be able to attack, consume the element, and re-attack again, because how Kasai's passive is like when you attack, you do AoE around you. And so, or you attack, you do AoE, you consume it, you attack again, you do AoE again. And then this is essentially going to be doing basically AoE to the enemies adjacent to that target. So if you attack that one target, I mean, you're going to be taking down a lot of enemies a lot quicker. Scammer looks really fun. Scammer looks silly, and I really like the idea of this. Yeah. The other thing you got to think about is like, so there's some classes like Kasai. I know that Shugen Flayer does it too. They have a skill that says it performs an attack. That's different than inflicting your hero's attack, performing an attack. That's what Kasai does too. They consume the elemental state and perform an attack. That applies all of the armband bonuses. That's why Kasai would typically run Hoity armband, because they were able to get the armor on that second strike. So stuff like the new Shugen could benefit from this, where they could actually just go and just inflict damage from somebody way across the board. It's one of their class skills, and it would hit the opponents adjacent to that target too. So they could literally just be doing like AoE bonk from across the board to whatever they want to with the one spell turn one because they have Scammer Armband. Things like that, dude. Like, I think Scammer is going to be great, dude. I'm not expecting the AoE from Scanner to inflict on-hit effects from everything. It's not everything. There's very few instances in WAVEN where you perform an extra attack. It has to explicitly perform. The only two that I can think of is Kasai. If I were to go into their passives here. So, okay, they're triggering an additional attack. So this considers an attack, and this, because you're doing an additional attack instead of just inflicting your attack, this applies your armband bonuses. This is how people are able to like use oiled armband, attack once, apply oiled. Now they have an elemental state, it consumes it, and they attack again, and then that enemy is then oiled again. It counts as applying oiled again because it applies that. Let me show you on the new Shugen. This dude, Shugen, we might just play Shugen today. Please tell me I didn't delete him. He's 26. Okay. So Shugen. Where's the skill? It's right here. Hero triggers their attack on it. Oh, does it have to be adjacent? Hold on. I guess it does have to be adjacent, so you can't go across the board. However, triggers their attack on an adjacent opponent. So say you have, 3 enemies, right? If they're lined up, one to the right of you, and then there's 2 adjacent to him, you could attack that one with Scammer Armband. It's going to hit both of them. And then you could just go attack him and do it again that turn. So Shugen attack could trigger that twice, right? Do we just have one hand? Apparently we only have one hand. But yeah, Shugen attack can do the same thing as Kasai. And I didn't even know this, but this does 50% additional damage if the target has an elemental state. So Scammer is pretty cool, dude. Scammer looks really fun. And what else can this give? Critical damage. Wow, 60% crit damage to hero, 10% chance to crit, and then you can get another percent attack. Yeah, Scammer looks really good. That's really good. You could get to like a 40% chance to crit, and look, dude, crit damage, and then that crit, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the hit would crit or not. I'm pretty sure it does, because if we were to look at Qatar and how Qatar works, if he crits, so does the hit part of his attack. The Scammer, dude, we might just drop runes into Scammer Armband and just give this a shot, because I think this is one of the biggest wins of the update. Scammer Armband, savage, dude. All right, so the Blizzard Armbands, we'll have to double check how the stats work in game. These are definitely going to scale, but we'll see how much. Unicorno crits 2 if crit hits. Yeah, so Unicorno is definitely something else you could do. It is a legendary, so unless you've been hella farming, and it does how much to everybody? It does, but you have to have elemental states on everybody. That's the only problem I have with Unicorno, is that it requires everything else to have elemental states. Now, in team fighting, you can probably get people to apply elemental states, then you trigger Astral, and then attack the one with Astral and do big damage. I've seen a really good clip of somebody doing hundreds of damage to every enemy. A lot of setup compared to what you could do with Scammer. You could very easily hit a few enemies with no setup, and hit a few things multiple times in a turn. And if crits hit, yeah, the crits will apply over. Dude, Scammer. Make it a Scammer Shugen. Let's go. Adjacent to target, not adjacent to you. Yeah, so it would be in the shape of like a T, basically, right? We don't have grids here, right? But like if I was here, right? If I was here and I attack the enemy here, right? It's going to be adjacent, these two. Right? I would assume. Wait. Is this even better? Hold on. So adjacent would also mean this right here, right? So it would go, oh my God, it's even better, bro. Yeah, so you should very easily, if you were sitting like here, be able to apply or trigger that attack and make sure you can hit like 2 to 3 enemies with Scammer at all times. Dude, I'm all in on Scammer. Scammer Shugen. Let's freaking go, bro. Okay, so they renamed the shield armbands because they're not shields anymore. Blizzard armband does 40% damage if the target's ventilated. Oh, these were the ones that old effect was they would do damage if the target's ventilated. Now they just do flat damage if the target's ventilated and 20% to your spell damage. Now, something to think about, this damage here probably scales. It's probably elemental damage. So if you're a pure air spell build, I mean, this is probably getting up to like 60, 70, 80, maybe even like into the hundreds. So we'll have to see how that scales once we get into game and look at some builds. This could be pretty solid damage. All right, let's roll down to rings. So the old effect for Horizon, your lightnings have health steal. Now they're just 4 health points. We need to see how these work. I would assume the health point regen is also based off of your elemental power. So you might still be able to get this to like 40 or 50, but 4 health points, that's a pretty low number. I don't think you're going to be able to get that higher than like 20 to 30 consistently. It works on armor, scales up to about half. Could you clarify that for me? So the health steals, all right. Old effect for horrific from 40% drain to 35. That's whatever. Ocean, old skill or old effect was 10% health to your companions. Triggers an additional rain if the opponent is wet. So now, instead of getting health, you can trigger additional stats. That's actually pretty solid. Gains damage on level up. Okay. Well, then that's not bad. We'll have to see what like a high level one looks like. I actually really like this ability now. So now if you can attack once, you're going to attack twice. Bro, dude, Earth Joris builds. Earth Scalpel Joris builds, man. If you can keep Joris out, you could attack 2 times with Joris. When he attacks, it triggers an additional stat. It would be rock, obviously, right? They'd have to be muddy. Oh, would this consume muddy though? I think this would consume the muddy state. So maybe that wouldn't work. I don't know. Somebody out there will make some sick build with it. Yeah. Somebody out there will find some way to have fun with that. Not the best right now. Definitely a nerf on these rings. I don't want you using these rings. Okay, Serenene, so Meteor, old effect, does 15 damage around your hero, 50% to your spell damage. Now it does 100% to your spell's next damage if the 3 opponents are hit. So Optimal, so yeah, that's what the change to Optimal was. Instead of a 15 card deck, now it's a 12 card deck ring. I'm cool with that. Yeah, we'll see what decks are really good with this, but yeah, that's fine. Nobody was using it. Way too many good 15 deck rings, so they make it a 12 deck ring. Somebody might be able to make use of that. Stormy, so old effect, when you summon a mechanism, 30% plating. Now it is 75% plating. Wow. And the skill. Okay, so this was the skill. So when you summon a mechanism, instead of giving it 40, you give it 75%. So this is a 150% plating ring. Okay, give me just a dang second. Let me look at my premium. We don't have most of these leveled up, but like, look, this is 19 armor, right? It's 19 armor. You can spawn and give 50% plating. So a level 10, I can get 19. I'd give 50%, which is assume 9. So it's up to 28. And then that's going to be 150% of that. So is that going to be another like 14 plus 28, 32? So up to like 60. And then if you have that ability where when you play a mechanism, you get 100%. So I'd be getting another 19 to 28. I mean, we're looking at like an 80 or 90 plating Sinistra at level 10. And then I'd assume if you ever are able to turn your Sinistros into the upgraded Sinistros, it starts at a base. I'd assume all of those upgrades would happen again. I can't confirm it, but we'll have to test it at some point. But look at the base of that 50. Like you're looking at like 150 to 200 plating on that thing at a level 10. Skill, old effect, 10% hero, 10% to your companions, now 20% spell damage. Yeah, dude. Stormy Ring is sick, dude. Totally made this into a Sinistro build ring. That's awesome. So the Hoo-Hoo Ring, old effect was 10% health to your companions. Now, new effect, start a fight, 1 ether gauge. So this already gives 1 ether. And now if you're a 12 deck, you get... Oh, no. This is the ring. This is just the full skill. So they made it a 1 ether gauge ring. Okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. The Olympic ring. Yeah, this Olympic ring is busted. So start of your turn, 5% to your companions for the turn. for each opponent with a state. And now 5% attack to your companions for the turn per gauge generated. Yeah, wow. There's a skill, start turn 5% attack for each opponent with a state. Hold on, so you can get up to 10% attack to your companions for the turn per gauge generated during the combat? Because it's getting 5% and then another 5% because this is a skill? Wow, yeah, Premium just drops one, he generates 2 gate. Wow, dude. Speedrun Qatar just came. Oh my god. Like, dude, Speedrun Qatar just became so much better, right? Because, you know, wow, they updated the art of Untamed Recruit. But you're looking at Qatar, right? Yeah, you run, which one is it here? So 2 gauge is the same as your Sinistro. You get 1 gauge for dropping it, plus 2 more. So if turn 1 you dropped 2 Sinistros, you're getting 6 gauge, which means you're getting 60% for the remainder of the fight. So you're giving my Qatar 60% more attack. Wow. You can make an easy turn 1 Qatar. I don't know if turn 1 Qatar, but guaranteed turn 2 Qatar. And he's coming out with 90% minimum, 90% attack. Holy shit. Wow. We might just be playing Premium for the remainder of the game. That's busted. Olympic is busted. Let me look at that ring really quick while we're in game. 12 card deck for Insta Qatar. Yeah, because you run the one where it gives you 2 ether gauge. Yeah, so Olympic ring, this is giving you 5% attack per gauge you've generated, plus another. Oh, you can give your companions riposte chance, 20% health to companions, super equipment as well. Wow. Yeah, and then you run the new ring. Is it this one? Start a fight 1 ether gauge, and then start a fight 1 ether gauge extra. So if you're in 12 deck, you're at 2 ether gauge right here. That's basically what he's suggesting. I think what you would run if I were to do my companion build. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do you even need attack at this point? Holy crap. There's a lot of companion rings now. I mean, you could sacrifice this one. It kind of sucks that I put so much into it. Yeah, because you don't need the percent attack to companions anymore. That other one is way stronger, so you just sack this off. You don't need that anymore. So you rip that. That sucks. I wish they would give me my runes back for that one. And you put in Olympic ring, and then it's up to you if you want 20% attack health to companions. You don't need the max health, but it's pretty nice. But yeah, if you wanted to do rush, you could rip this out and you could turn 1. Absolutely. Oh, right. 20% max HP got added. You're right. So you don't even need this anymore. You're totally right. Keep that, because 15 attack and 30 HP is pretty solid. But yeah, you run, then what is it? The Hoo-Hoo ring? Oh, would I have to run a 12 card deck now? I don't like the idea of a 12 card. Was I running 12 card? I feel like they messed things up. Huh. Wow. Actually crazy. Turn 1 Qatars. Okay. Alrighty. So the Ornithorring, spawned by 1 you companion is 10% to health, now 20%. Old effect, 2% chance of finding equipment chest, now 10% attack to companions. No more super companion chest. Now you have healthier hero. I think that's probably a replaced ring. I don't think most people are running that anymore because of Olympic. But here's the bottom line. This is going to get nerfed. So you can upgrade it how much you want to, but that's absolutely getting nerfed. This is too catered. It's way too catered to the 2 companion builds in the game. It's weird. It's absolutely going to get nerfed. But take advantage of it until then, I guess. So Muskapole, spawned by 1 of your companions, confer 50% of your hero's attack on them as armor. Now it's 100% of your hero's attack as armor. The Bash ring, start a fight, confers 100% of their attack as armor on your hero. Now it's 200% of your attack as armor on your hero. The Iron ring, 10% of your max health as armor on your hero. 20% of your max health as armor on hero now. Nobly ring, increased collision, and the skill goes from 20 to 40 collision. All right, pretty good collision bonuses. Level 120 normal quests. Wow. Yeah, Qatar Rush is crazy. It does too much AoE. So personal addition, spawn 1 reserve action points. We've made major changes to the efficiency of seagulls in the game. Currently 3 of them have considerable power for a ridiculously low cost. We therefore decided to harmonize Yaki, Tika, and Delta with Nuggets level. The big winners from this change will be the Albatroshes, who we've given new, more attractive skills. Okay, so Yaki, the old skill was 1 reserve AP, now it's 110%. Oh, dude, they fucked them. All the seagulls got nerfed so bad. That's so unfortunate. So 1 reserve AP, now they're all just 100% attack, which is kind of sad. Oh, no. No, you gave them new. No, you did not give them new attractive skills. The super equipment was so good. No. We wanted the super equipped chests, you bastards. So now Caesar, instead of just being 100% attack, it's 100% plus another 100%. Spawn draw. Nah, dude, y'all's fucked this up. This is so bad. I wanted my 8% super equips, you jerks. Susie, base attack, 15 to 25, the old effect. Now you have another 100% attack. The companions with elemental spell cost reductions are very powerful, notably with all the existing draw tools. Their skills that lower the AP cost of spells in hand on attack even further make up the aspect that makes them too powerful in single element decks. In place of these skills, we've given them more survivability. Oh, no. So they made companion builds stronger, but not if you run the 5 AP spell companions of the 2 cost birds. Amalia, so old effect is 1 action point for the cost of earth spells in your hand. New one is you get physical protection. It's only 30% chance. Ugh. Same for Bakra, same for Herberg, same for Ilish. Oh fuck. This is rough. It's understandable. However, give them 50% at that point. 30% isn't enough to keep them alive. You pretty much wanted to keep these guys out for as long as possible because of the attack on extra. Give me -1 AP. If you're going to make it only -1 AP while they're alive, you should increase this to 50 to give them a much better chance. 30% is nothing. So I have a 1 in 3 chance to protect, but after 2 attacks, I will die. So odds are in my favor that I'm going to die before I get the effect off. It's pretty unfortunate. They gutted the 5 costs. Okay. Companions Konkarkas and Noxon have their family skills. We fix this. So the old effect, -1 movement point to adjacent max opponent or adjacent opponents to the end of their turn. Now it's 30% max health as armor if you have another Joris Gang. Okay. The old effect was 3 Ice Out Auras. Now inflicts attack on surrounding opponents because it's a super villain. Okay. PvP changes. PvP mode will undergo considerable balancing for the year-end update. Since the arrival of Albera content is potentially too dangerous for PvP, we're activating only companions in this mode, not the spells. Okay. What does that mean? Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. There's new spells that won't be released, but the companions they'll release. Okay, got you. Thank you. Well, there's probably new spells and companions, but they're only releasing companions for PvP. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Systems and improvements. The push tooltip specifies that all types of magic influence damage. Yep. The effects of killing blow no longer trigger when you finish off a member of your own team. Okay. The countdown has been added to reward rotation interface. A countdown has been added to the reward rotation. Okay. All right. Hopefully it's like a 20-second countdown so that you can't I've done it myself. I've accidentally held people hostage by not collecting. So that's a huge improvement. From the world map, the island unlock gauges indicate progress by filling up rather than emptying. Thank you so much. It was so confusing to figure out, like, are we actually getting anywhere? Am I almost done? Very smart. It's now possible to turn off screen shaking in the settings. Fantastic. So one weird thing about screen shaking is like I could see it on my screen where there'd be like tearing. I could see like the game and there was nothing behind it. It was really weird. So I'm going to remove that myself. A bug report form is now better suited to mobile format. Okay. Mobile app. The addition of a floating button to equip and unequip a cosmetic item in the interface. Addition of a forgotten password link. And the addition of a button to temporarily show the password in the login interface. Okay, well, cool. Bug fixes. Characters. The Stalaktoss Armor passive no longer applies to allies. I never knew that was a thing. Piku passive and Piku power hero skill no longer trigger on invulnerable opponents. And Blunderbust master hero skill no longer generates more aura charges than intended. Okay. Spirit armband's effect now depends on the companion's attack instead of the heroes. This is a big bug upgrade. because most companion builds were not going crazy attacks. So you're now doing more damage. Lightning Strike Armband properly targets the target and not the wearer. That was a big upgrade or big bug fix. Passive stats of several pieces of equipment have been corrected. Limit Ring upgrade of 25% to your spam damage in a random element now applies properly. Obelisk Ring additional effect appears properly. Okay, cool. Brooch Bug is out, but not patch notes. Yeah, I heard about that. Probably because they didn't want to make announcements about it. I don't know. The Iron Constitution spell generates proper armor. Dance Step, no longer occupied cells. Limit spell, cost of opponents. Honestly, I'm just gonna like. You could just read this if it's important to you. I'm just gonna skim through it, but I don't really remember a lot of like spells or anything really being messed up. Okay. Same for like companions and stuff. Let's see. Oh, the artillery spell now probably casts all darts that player has. Oh, true. So is that going to be the 5+1 for you rather than just the 5? Personal gains the right amount of armor. Nox's gauge cost drops after his death if his resummoning skill is active. Okay. Spell damage bonus for hash properly disappears after his death. Huge. Mamo's going to be so mad he can't abuse this anymore. 5+ student set applies 5+1. Oh, nice. Little Thorn no longer lets you draw a spell with a critical if the skill is not unlocked. Colonel Stuffers can no longer give Tofu Kebab spell. Offended Oracle Companion critical skill has been affixed. Companions while in play effects no longer are no longer active permanently when they are transformed. Okay. Farnix Companion rebound darts indeed benefit from spell damage and air magic. Nice. Quests, do we really care? I rarely do quests, but if you care, here you go. Go ahead and take a look at it. Miscellaneous. Blocking error, chat notifications, behavior of those monsters below. Prisms are displayed is better suited for mobile devices. The English translation of the Gelano ring has changed from Jelly Ring to Gelano. Nice, it's called the Gelano finally. All right, wow, a lot to unpack here, an absolute lot. I'm gonna do a very skim and give you probably the 5 or so big winners. First off, I think the biggest winner is going to be for classes. I think, let me just go through. Kokoro, I think, got a huge win. I think you can do the Kokoro armor AoE build rather than just pure companion, and I think that's super cool. Not a big win, but I think Voracious is completely fine. I think this 3% max health is going to be better suited later on in the game. Right now it might be a nerf, but I think later on it's going to be much more beneficial. So Voracious, I think, is going to be, I think you should be happy about this, even though it's technically a nerf. IOPS got fucked. Another small win for Spectral. Not one of the big winners, but another small win. Sram, Shugen Flayer. I mean, it's a big win. Don't get me wrong. Shugen was already able to solo like level 100 content. It's big. I'm kind of curious. I'd like to get my Shugen to 30 and like give this a shot. That's a lot of damage, man. So this would be the other big win. Dude, okay. Low key, Amurai Blade. I really need somebody with like a level 30 Amurai Blade to just try a pure Amurai support build. Oh my god, if you're really trying to do team fight content, Amurai might be crazy, bro. Like, imagine Amurai with like a Kasai or Amurai with like anything attack based, and you're giving like the whole team like 60+ attack. Like, dude, think about Voracious. Can you like these like you'd be given like hundreds of attack while also healing and just big chilling in the back? I just think it's awesome. I think it's way awesome. So I'm not gonna say a big win, but another win for sure. I think Amurai is very versatile. Shurokan, okay. Low-key Shurokan, I think, is one of the big wins for Shurokan mastery. I need to test it or find somebody. Charles, if you're in the chat, I need you to come and test how much damage you do now with this. I actually think y'all are going to start seeing videos come out of nowhere of Shurokan Shivs one-shotting things. and you're going to be like, wait, what the hell? They can do that? And yes, I'm the first to tell you, yes, they can absolutely do that. They were able to do that with 25% damage, 100 and like almost 150% increased damage for the traps, and the traps do more damage. I will be researching into this, but Shurokan, one of the biggest winners, I promise you. What else do we get? I'll put them together, Premium and Gurpapa, because of the Sinistros. But man, because of that ring, Premium's sitting pretty. So there's another big winner. For all of the armbands, I'm telling you, Scammer armband, I think this is going to be huge on attack focused classes. And there will be tests in the future that I do for different classes. But like Shugen Flayer, I think can abuse this. I think that Kasai builds could abuse it. I think hitting so many things multiple times a turn, I think is going to be massive. You're just going to be able to really try to take something out. So I think this is huge. Honestly, one of my favorite things is the Scammer armband change. Rings. Whew, the big winner. Where is it? Where do they have it? The Olympic ring. This is the big. This is massive. Like, for companion builds, getting 10% for each gauge, the classes that can play companion optimally have in their kit ways to get extra gauge when doing something. Kokoro, when you play a support skill, you get extra gauge. I think it's like 2 extra gauge when you play a support skill of a certain element. So they can get like 2 to 4 off of cards. And then Sinistro, when they play a Sinistro, they now get that gauge right away rather than waiting for it to die. So they're getting 3 gauge every time they drop a Sinistro. So by the time something comes out, like it's like 60% for the whole combat of attack for any companion coming out. It's just wild. So huge win for Olympic. That's gonna get nerfed, but that's massive. Companions took a huge L. All the companions listed here are just huge L's. That's about it. So yeah, let me just recap one final time. For the ring is the Olympic ring. The other piece of equipment I think is big is Scammer. For the classes, I think Gurpapa. I think Premium got big upgrades. I think Shurokan, low key, Shurokan got one of the best upgrades. Amurai Blade, no. Shurokan, and then Shugen Flayer got a huge upgrade, and then Kokoro. Those are going to be like my 5 big winners of this update, with the 1 ring and the 1 armband. Pretty good overall. What do you guys think about this? You guys think it was a pretty massive how do we feel? Because the last time we had a relatively big update, it nerfed a lot of rings and people were like, what are you doing to this game? I think this is fair. I think what I like about this now is they've made some classes really fun to play, and they've made some classes worthy of trying again. And for anybody playing, that's the fun thing, is like trying classes and trying to discover them. And they've kind of changed some classes now. A lot of class changes were whack. Yeah, there were some very suspicious ones, all surrounding the collision. It's like they're trying to force more collision onto us. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't necessarily want to play collision, but yeah, overall pretty interesting. We wanted a big update and we got it. Can't complain, right? The birds were a little OP, but I'll definitely miss them. I'm low-key annoyed by the bird change. I mean, it's whatever. I just summon for whatever, but I like not having that extra reserve AP is kind of disheartening, like really disheartening, because having reserve AP was very helpful in my Shaden Shiru, and I don't have that now. So already, let's play the game. Do you guys want to play the game now?